In recent days, a different atmosphere has begun to spread behind the scenes at Newcastle United, something not openly displayed in public but noticeable in small signs, discreet conversations and looks that seem to hide more than they reveal. It is the kind of environment where nothing is stated directly, yet everything suggests that an important move is being prepared. Supporters can feel it, analysts quietly comment on it, and anyone who follows the club closely realizes that something significant is about to happen, as if a key piece is preparing to shift on the board. Meanwhile, every detail, every update, and every rumor takes on a different weight, because any one of them could be the loose thread that reveals something far bigger behind it. It is precisely in this climate filled with expectation that many supporters end up arriving here, trying to understand what is coming and how it might affect the club's immediate future. And if you've been following our channel for a while, you already know that we always bring essential information of this kind, which is why it is so important for you to subscribe right now. Besides helping the channel grow, it ensures that you receive every update about Newcastle the moment it appears, and in moments like this, when seemingly small details can point to major changes, being subscribed makes all the difference so you don't fall behind other supporters. The atmosphere in the stands at St. James Park and among supporters around the world is a mixture of tension and curiosity. Every recent match, every individual performance and every mistake has been analyzed with even more scrutiny than usual, mostly because everything indicates that important decisions may be about to be made by the board and the PIF. It is as if every setback, especially in European competitions, is preparing the ground for something more drastic and decisive. And when you look at Eddie Howe's behavior, the patterns in team selections and the performances of usually reliable players, everything becomes even clearer. If you've been following this unfolding story, consider subscribing so you don't miss any developments, as the coming weeks promise to be intense. Supporters have already begun raising theories. British journalists have discussed the situation on sports programs, and specialized analysts have highlighted details suggesting major behind-the-scenes movements. Some say the club is preparing a quiet overhaul. Others believe the PIF has increased its direct involvement in decisions that were previously left entirely to the football department. Meanwhile, on the pitch, certain players who were once untouchable now appear increasingly under scrutiny. All of this creates exactly the kind of mystery that makes any supporter restless. According to information gathered and originally reported by Football Insider and Chronicle Live, the PIF may be willing to directly finance a deal that would completely reshape Newcastle's January plans. The decision involves a possible aggressive attempt to sign Elliot Anderson, who is currently valued at around £60 million, and could return to the club if the Magpies manage to raise sufficient funds. And here comes the most surprising part. To make this move possible, the board would be open to listening to offers for important players, including names that, until recently, were considered essential. The sources mentioned indicate that this is a strategically planned move and could happen as early as the next transfer window. All this speculation gained even more strength after the frustrating defeat to Olympique de Marseille in the Champions League. Newcastle had controlled the match until Harvey Barnes scored another goal in his extraordinary season, but a comeback led by Aubameyang once again exposed issues that have been repeating with alarming frequency in away games. The French team's reaction reinforced for many that some sectors of the squad urgently need renewal. And when renewal is mentioned, this includes both the search for players who can raise the level and the possible departure of those who no longer deliver the same performance. Anthony Gordon, for example, was once again one of the symbols of this unstable moment. His performance as the lone striker against Marseille was considered ineffective by various journalists, including Thomas Hammond, who highlighted how poorly this adaptation from winger to centre-forward has worked. The player had only 25 touches before being replaced by Nick Woltemade, reinforcing the conclusion that the experiment has not succeeded. Failing to help the team against a strong opponent in a decisive match added even more pressure on him, especially at a time when Barnes is experiencing his best spell since joining the club. And if you're enjoying the depth of this analysis, make sure to subscribe and receive more complete videos like this one. Harvey Barnes, unlike Gordon, has been one of the standout performers of the season. His 7 goals so far place him among the most efficient players in the squad, and this naturally makes comparisons with Gordon's lack of Premier League impact even more striking. It is precisely this contrast that has raised the possibility that the board is open to selling Gordon to recoup part of the £45 million invested. And such a sale would not be merely strategic, it would be necessary to make the return of Elliot Anderson feasible, should the PIF truly decide to fund the deal and complete the remaining amount. Another name that has entered the list of possible departures, according to Mark Douglas, is Nick Pope. The goalkeeper is experiencing a completely different phase from the one that earned him high praise, being described by Eddie Howe as one of the best he has worked with. But this season, particularly in the match against Marseille, Pope once again made errors that cost the team. In the moment he rushed out of goal and left Aubameyang in front of an empty net. The team lost emotional control and the match changed direction. Analysts like Andy Kerr have pointed out that something seems wrong with Pope, and this has led to internal discussions about selling him if an offer in the region of £10 to £15 million appears. Pope's situation has also opened the door to rumors about a potential move for Aaron Ramsdale, who would be a younger and more reliable short-term option. With age advancing, mistakes increasing and pressure rising, Pope may become one of the players sacrificed to raise the funds needed to bring Anderson back. And this puts Eddie Howe in a difficult position, as it would mean altering one of the defensive pillars of recent years. Yet at the same time, such a change could be the breath of renewal. Newcastle needs to overcome this inconsistent phase and regain momentum. According to Football Insider, the PIF views Elliot Anderson as a strategic opportunity. The player, who previously left the club, has developed, gained market value and now has the potential to return as an immediate impact figure. However, with Manchester United also interested and willing to offer up to £60 million, Newcastle must act quickly. And that is exactly why the investment fund is reportedly willing to finance part of the deal, provided the club raises additional funds through specific sales. This combination of external investment and internal restructuring is the core of the quiet revolution, seemingly taking shape behind the scenes. The crucial question now is understanding which of these names will actually be negotiated and what level of direct investment the PIF will commit to. The decision involves not only money but also reputation, sporting planning and pressure for immediate results. Eddie Howe has been criticized for repeating mistakes, insisting on players who no longer deliver the same level and failing to find effective tactical adjustments, especially away from home. Thus, any transfer move could directly affect his continuity as manager.